Okay, let's move on to Number of the Beast.
A plus.
End of conversation.
That's actually I'm yeah.
You got a flow chart? What is
You
that?
got a grade now?
No, it's just that
No,
He's
not
making the next set list.
Yeah, exactly.
He's making the next.
I thought it was an algorithm. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to start with this song, and I guess we can dive right into it. because-
Well,
You don't have to start with the open.
I know, but I'm looking at the other ones going, and I know this is going to be a debate, so I might as well start with it.
this song will be a debate, yes.
Yeah. I gotta get to the chorus at least.
Bass line is so fucking badass. I need to learn this. Just I want to play that. It's about to take a turn here, right?
Yep, here it comes. There it is. Okay.
That never bothered me.
Really?
It never bothered me either.
How did it not bother you?
It's never bothered
It just
me
that's what it that I don't know. It just sounded like the song didn't sound weird to me.
either.
And I started I don't know about you guys, but I was listening to this I think when it first came out. So
No,
it's all
I went back to
it
this.
felt natural. I was like, 13, 14 years old. So that's what it I guess I didn't have any
I can see that.
opinions except that this is like fucking unbelievable. Every second of it.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I got this a little bit later as I was collecting Iron Maiden albums. It might have been the last one because I started getting them like 88, 89, well, probably 89. And for whatever reason, because, you didn't know what was going to be in the store when you had, $10 or whatever to buy an album. And I ended up getting this one kind of late. Even like, I can still kind of remember like, that was one of the things on this album. I was like, "Oh my god, what is that?"
Yeah, I think that's a
I just remember looking at what pillaging meant.
Weird ass scale.
Marauding.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Because we were kind of spoiled by all the greatness that came after this, and we started with it. Like I started with Live After Death.
Well, I knew a bunch of the songs from the live albums, but that was not obviously one that they were playing live very often.
No.
At all.
And this wasn't part of anyone's, I think, top 10, by the way. Three
good.
guys on that podcast, because that if you look at all the opening tracks, even on this album, it's like it's kind of a weird one.
Yeah.
Look,
It's
one of the worst, in my opinion. I mean,
exactly.
It's so weird though, because like excluding Gangland for now, it's like I think only because the rest of the songs are so freaking unbelievable. It's it's just
coming the opposite of the other the one we just talked about, right?
Yes.
Pretty much it is.
Mirror image.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is so.
I mean, time out. Gangland sucks too, but the rest of this album, this album can be heralded as possibly the best Maiden album.
Well, that's the crazy thing about it is that you have maybe some weaker songs, but at the same time, it is considered maybe their best album ever.
And I mean, exactly. When I think about like the best one, it's like,
it's got some of their most iconic songs, but I think as a full album, it's not their strongest at all.
Agreed. Completely agree.
I agree as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact, I can go to this now since we're talking about it. But if you're going to grade like those top, 5 albums from 82 when Bruce came in from 82 to 88.
82 to 88.
Skip off
this would be 5 for me actually. So
what?
Me too.
Yeah. I think I go Somewhere in Time, Peace of Mind, Power Slave, Seventh Son, Beast. That's my top 5.
Seventh Son is better than this?
I think
I would put
I
like it better, yeah.
Power Slave, Seventh Son, probably ahead of those. Well, maybe Somewhere in Time. I don't know, but yeah, this would be number 5 for me too.
Yeah.
Interesting because
Not that
we're
it's
talking.
It's close.
I think maybe is it because it's so classic? Like, Run to the Hills. You never want to hear Run to the Hills again, but it's just so iconic that you overlook the fact that it's so freaking iconic.
Yeah, it factors in a little bit with Run to the Hills being so overplayed. Where it's like, okay, I've heard this song 1,000 times. I can,
I mean, honestly, I can't imagine how it is for them to ever play that song again. When, like, personally, I'm kind of sick of playing the song.
Well, you could play this song or that song from Rio, and that's why they play it.
Yeah,
the crowd is ridiculous on that.
Yeah,
song.
right. I should put that on my pad.
No shit, you should do that.
It's funny. I might agree with that. For me, Seventh Son. And this might be a bold statement, but this is my opinion as a fan. For me, every Iron Maiden album has one or two songs at least that are like, okay. For me, Seventh Son, pound for pound, is my all-time favorite Maiden album. That's not to say that there are other songs on other albums that I don't love just as much, but as an entire album, that one, there's not one song that I wouldn't take on a desert island with me.
Was that your introduction to Maiden? You said you got into
not.
Okay.
So interesting you say that. That was the year, but my introduction to Maiden was actually Somewhere in Time and Power Slave, and then Number of the Beast. And I think because as kids and as fans, because we were 13 years old and whatever, it's like, Number of the Beast. There was a certain shock factor with that. I actually got Seventh Son on my own at the local music store. I was actually in a Pathmark in a shopping center, and I actually bought it myself to listen to it. And I loved it, and it grew on me even more over time. But it's just interesting because every album has one or two songs that I'm like, meh. Seventh Son, every that minute, from the first minute to the last, I can listen to it nonstop on loop.
Can I Play with Madness is my only.
I love
me too,
I love that one. I love it to bits.
Only the Good Die Young.
Song.
I'm the only one.
What is what? What about Only the Good Die Young?
I think if you're going to talk about the weakest songs in the album, that one, Can I Play with Madness?
I love that song.
Oh yeah.
I like it. I
did too.
Compared to the rest.
Yeah, I agree.
And actually,
it's a weird closer too, by the way.
It is, and that weird ending. It's like the only real rock ending in like the whole album.
Yeah,
it's like that's so weird because it had this great the whole album was this concept album, and then they have like this rock and roll ending. It's like that's a weird way to end it. But then they do the 7 Deadly Sins thing again. So
But even going back to Invaders, it's really just that. That
it's
line,
the chorus.
Right?
That's the
and
only
that,
thing.
That fucking scale they do
chorus,
at the end too. Like, why did they?
It's
because it's pretty kick ass up to that point.
It would have been a great song if they didn't fucking just ruin it with the goddamn chorus.
What is that scale? What are they playing there? Like, I've never.
Is this a scale or is it chromatic?
Vern's gonna figure it out.
I don't think it's chromatic, is it? Well, they played it last show. I think he knows it.
Oh yeah.
No, it's G sharp major.
G sharp major scale.
Okay, that's a note they never.
You mean A flat?
G sharp, A flat, tomato, potato. Yes.
Wow.
Fret number 4 on the E string on the bass.
It's just a major. It's just like a major run.
That's it. It's it. And it's interesting because it sits on.
What do they go up to the 5th?
Yep, up to the 5th, and then they kind of run back down below the tonic. Yeah. So, and it's
that's why it sounds weird because they don't do majors. They don't very often.
Right. And it's interesting because when we were thinking of doing it, another conversation that comes up is, well, what songs feel like B-sides? I never would have figured, because I think everybody knows here, I'm the new guy on Eyes of the Nile. I joined back in Halloween of 2019 was my first gig. And that's coming into
new.
Well, if you put COVID into the mix,
that's forever ago now.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that extended it unofficially.
In a way, you're right. I still feel like the new guy. But when thinking of Maiden songs coming into an established Maiden tribute, I thought there's no such thing as a B-side because Maiden fans know everything. So there's no way that, To Tame a Land or Sun and Steel or Invaders are going to be B-sides that might fall flat in front of a crowd. Mm-hmm. So when we're thinking about putting a set list together, sometimes I'm like, oh, we should do this with Invaders, or certain songs will come up. And I think for some reason Invaders, especially in my mind as an example. And it's almost like I get like a maybe response, and Deech maybe kind of like add some fidelity to that. But I feel like that's a conversation that happens pretty regularly. Songs that I think should crush and should be known, but I mean, what say you?
Well,
constant conversation that we always have, like what a B-side is to someone else is like my own favorite song or something. Like Flash of the Blade. Oh, you play the deep cuts. Like Flash of the Blade is not a deep cut to me.
That right there is exactly what. That's exactly the point.
It feels like a deep cut for that because Maiden doesn't play it live.
Yeah, no, I mean that is.
I can see that.
I would call that a deep cut just because it's like it's not one of the ones that everyone talks about. It's fucking fantastic, but it's not. It's not Power Slave. It's not Rhyme the Ancient Mariner.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people would. I don't know. I can't speak for a lot of people, but I would think that a lot of people will want to hear that song live. I don't know. People are always psyched when we play that.
It's awesome. Well, and I freaked out when you played Still Life. I've been asking that for 6 years. So.
Oh man,
every time I post something on social media, it's like play Still Life.
The weird thing about that was, I think we were all hanging out, and I was like, so it's going to be really tough. Someone wasn't there. I forget who it was. It was Jason. Fern, were you in the room at this time when we picked the song? I don't think you were there.
Maybe not, but this is one that I came into the band with a wish list that included this.
No, this was like when we picked Still Life. We're all sitting in my basement. I'm like, you know what? It's going to be impossible to pick the next song because we have like all the good ones. We have like, how are we going to even pick anything from here? And then I was like, what about? I think I played a couple songs and we got to Still Life and we're all just like, yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the room.
Yeah, you weren't in the room. So I think we just said Still Life is next.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's like, got it, on it. We'll have it tomorrow.
Yeah, I was.
It was like way easier. It's like we just totally missed the song somehow, and it was pretty unanimous.
Clearly, you're not paying attention to my posts on social media.
Yeah,
maybe there was just more songs before that or something. I don't know, but once we got to it, it was like, oh yeah, for sure.
Well, I was telling Joe after the last Tally Ho show in February, I was like, that's the best set list I've ever seen from them. I mean, it included Still Life, and then Joe reminded me, well, they did play Invaders. I was like, yeah, that's true.
But so that's saying still. That's how good it was.
Yeah, because you played a lot of Somewhere in Time. You played like 3 songs from that, I think, and Still Life. I was like, yes,
4 songs maybe. I think.
I would say every time I've seen you guys, it's gotten. I've liked the set list better. So that's gonna. The other shoe's gonna drop at some point.
Thank you. Well, it's funny. Another part of another ingredient to the set list writing is, trying to be careful not to always open with Ace's High 2 minutes. So we're trying to get a good list of openers that we can kind of rotate to kind of snazz it up for the people that have seen us before.
Yeah, I love that you opened with Caught Somewhere in Time. That was perfect.
Yeah.
And what did we play the last time we were there?
Right.
Yeah.
Comparing. And this is the place we probably play the most, so we're probably not going to be playing the same set list.
Yeah.
So this was definitely by far the most adventurous one, and I think we all unanimously felt like this was definitely the best one. We got the best reaction, and I wish we could do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well,
and then
when are you guys back there? Do you know?
At Tally Ho?
Yeah.
Probably not till the fall or so.
Oh fuck! All right,
maybe early or late summer.
They're going to Pittsburgh, Joe. Just FYI. So I'm trying to get Tim to go up and see them in Pittsburgh because Tim lives an hour from Pittsburgh.
Wow. So. If I'm off, I would definitely do that.
June.
Thank you.
17th.
17th.
It's interesting too.
I get off work that morning. I don't know. Man. Oh no, I can't because I got to work a few days after that. That's not going to work for me.
Well, I'll try to get Tim to come. We'll figure it out. Hopefully,
we'll figure it out.
Make it happen.
Maybe I can do a trade or something.
We'll figure it out.
Still Life.
The other song that fascinated me too when talking with the band was Gangland. Speaking of which, that I thought that would have been like everybody would have been like stunned to hear it, and I'm learning that Gangland is kind of tepid for a number of the Beast fans, and that really surprises me. I'd be curious to know why.
It's the weaker song.
One of the weakest song. Yeah,
other songs are so good.
And they admittedly said it shouldn't have been on the album. They should have picked Total Eclipse.
I guess they even forgot one of the solos too.
Oh, that's classic. Does everyone know that?
What's that?
No.
What do you mean?
The second half of the guitar solo section. Can you play it?
I don't know where it comes in. I don't.
Yeah, just play the guitar solo because they in the second half of the guitar solo, there's no lead guitar.
It's just riff.
They forgot to add it in.
Wow.
Like they recorded it and they didn't.
Is it after this?
I think so.
After the scream, listen to the guitar solo.
Nice. That's hilarious.
Nothing.
That's it.
I have never noticed that before.
No.
Wow.
That's funny.
Bruce recently said it in an interview
Oh, okay.
within the past year. And yeah, I think they said that it was recorded, but they just didn't put it in. They forgot to like mix it in or something. How is that even possible?
I don't
Do
know.
they have it recorded
Yeah.
somewhere?
Yeah, I'll have to hear the
Not
recording.
that I know of, but that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And how does that?
And this-
How does that feel? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a
Oh, I
video
know.
of Adrian Smith playing it. I don't know if you saw that video. He's in his house in his basement, and he's just remembering how it goes, especially
wow.
the
Right.
beginning, which we're not going to get into. But when we were learning this, we had a whole freaking fist fight about how to count the beginning because there's like an odd amount of beats in one of the measures, and if you actually try to count it, it's not like 4/4 or anything. So it's hard to figure out like with the
Well, doesn't
phrasing.
it come in
Like a
with drums?
5/8 kind of bullshit thing. Or what?
No, it's just
It comes in with drums though. How do you like?
yeah. Well, I'm not going to get into it.
Okay.
But there's
It's
like
like-
if you
totally
try to
want
play
you to
along
answer
with, if you try to play along, it doesn't line up how it feels like it should line up. There's like
I'm
an
gonna pull up
extra
the-
2 beats, and you can count it different ways, but
I'm gonna pull up the music now.
I'll give you.
you won't be able to find it.
What do you mean? Why
I'll
not?
give you.
There's tabs, but I wouldn't trust any of that shit.
Yeah, and I'll give you a little behind the scenes. You happen to have on this podcast the polar opposites of the opinion of how that should work.
Oh,
Yeah.
Deech
What do you
knows
mean?
a certain way that Deech knows a certain ways that it works. I know a certain way that it works. We're both right, but we're speaking like the opposite language and getting there. That was part of the discussion. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you added Naveed in there, it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna slice your throat right now.
Right.
So,
Satan, Satan, Satan.
Oh, I was
But-
joking about drums being a quasi instrument. Really, singers. Come on.
well, can we just say for the record here, Clive Burr.
well, we didn't introduce the band. That's a good point. We haven't talked about.
Oh, we didn't.
Oh,
We didn't
yeah.
talk about
Yeah,
the
we
album
got
cover or
right
anything.
into
the
it.
album.
Well,
So-
let's just say The Prisoner, Run to the Hills, Gangland, 3 drum intros.
Mm-hmm.
3
Yeah.
drum intros on maybe their best album ever. Definitely one of the
Subjectively.
Classics.
one
It
of the
is
most
definitely-
classic metal albums of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, and Run to the Hills wasn't just a drum intro, and it's iconic. You know it as soon as it starts what the song is.
Yeah.
Gangland, I mean, for Maiden fans, you might know what that is.
Yeah, sure.
And The Prisoner. I mean, they're
Well, let's
all
be honest.
Prisoners.
Let's be
Prisoners
honest;
are
those
good.
are just beats. And then when they got Nico, first thing he does is a fucking badass little fill.
Yeah.
That, like, hey, I'm in
Oh,
the
Where
band now.
Eagles Dare.
You know, and you're like, fuck yeah,
You mean Where Eagles Dare?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I hear that Bruce Dickinson told him kind of what to play at the beginning of that. But yeah, I mean, that was pretty epic too.
But
there's
it
a
was
so-
total
there's-
change of style from just like the you know the beat kind of
Yeah.
intros.
There's
Yeah,
a story
it was
of
a
Clive did.
very
It's like
strange.
It's like we got a new.
drum
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a story in Bruce's book about that where he talks about when
Sorry.
Nico had to play that beat like 5 times or whatever trying to record it. And they're like, he's like, oh God, thank God I don't have to play that again. And they're like, no, we're gonna open every concert with that on this next tour.
Yeah.
So you better figure that out.
And that's a beat. We don't have to get into it, but that's something that I've never heard anyone play correctly. Even Mike Portnoy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Charlie Benante. Have you heard Charlie Benante play it?
No, I want to.
Of anyone that could do it, it would be him for sure.
Well, Portnoy just did this thing where he talked about his favorite metal drummers, beats and grooves or whatever. And he does The Prisoner, doesn't do it correctly. He does friggin' Where Eagles Dare, doesn't play it correctly.
Huh.
He does all these grooves. I'm like, fucking play it right, God damn it. I know you're playing tribute, but God, play it right. Maybe it's just me. I'm being a stickler, but it's like part of paying a tribute is like play it correctly so people understand like why it's iconic and like they're all dumbed down versions, and that's what I don't feel is fair to the original drummer.
How do you
this is Dream Theater, right?
Yeah.
Well, Dream Theater.
Formerly.
Yes.
Formerly. What do you mean?
Beach, that
He hasn't been in the
that
band in
for
a long time.
what you just said was exactly my sort of like, I don't want to say stress, but focus when I joined the band because, playing like Steve is very unique. And every time I pick up the bass to play Iron Maiden, I have to reteach myself and relearn how to play because his playing is so different and unique. And of course, the question of 3 fingers versus 2, you're only supposed to use 2. And that's how he gets the sound. So to your point, in terms of playing it correctly, it can't be overstated how important that is. So I definitely get you there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. When you put it that way, I totally understand it.
Yeah.
Besides at least from a drum perspective, it's a workout and a half, and it's the only thing that's like I got to warm up to play the stuff. Clive's hands, I've said it a million times, but Clive's hands are insane. If you listen to this guy play, the sheer speed in his hands.
Yeah. When we get to some of the tracks, trust me, we'll go into some of these like.
Yeah, he'll do one-handed stuff instead of 16ths on the hi-hat. Like he'll be like,
yeah.
There's a lot of older stuff from the previous albums, and then you got Nico's foot.
Yeah.
It's craziness. Yeah. So anyway,
Clive, he wore gloves too, did he?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the band.
I don't know if he always did, but I've seen him with gloves and without gloves. Yeah.
Yeah. So the lineup on this one: Bruce Dickinson vocals, Steve Harris bass, Dave Murray guitar, Adrian Smith guitar, and drums Clive Burr, and producer Martin Birch again. Album cover. I mean, geez, this is like how many people? Yeah, there you go, Fern. How many people saw this in 82 and bought this without even knowing what the band sounded like just because the artwork was so amazing? I mean, we've heard stories, so many different people saying that, right? So like, and this is one of their best album covers by far. It's so good.
It's funny how misunderstood it is too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie's got the devil on puppet strings, and it's not like what people. Even if you just took it as, they're satanic. No, the devil's a puppet. Damn it. But Eddie's controlling him.
But then the devil has Eddie.
Actual, yeah, exactly, right.
And you look closely.
Right. Yeah.
So, and that was the whole thing. That was the whole concept that Derek Riggs said. He was like, it depicts Eddie controlling Satan like a puppet, but also Satan is controlling a smaller Eddie. Yeah, there you go. There he is. So it was a whole who's manipulating who, and according to Riggs, that was inspired by a Doctor Strange comic book of all things, which I thought was pretty funny. So,
the other thing too is the concept, right? The actual song. I think it was written. Steve wrote it after having a dream about witnessing a ritual, something like that. Is that?
It was correct? A movie he watched. I think
he watched The Omen 2.
It was a movie. Yeah,
that's what it was.
The Omen.
That's what it was. The Omen.
Right. The Omen 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
it's funny that the small Eddie is doing like walk like an Egyptian.
It's like, he's doing David Lee Roth moves.
Yeah. I used to draw all of these covers, and I still have them. But it's so weird that would draw them from a cassette tape cover.
Wow. Right.
Just like so small. Like how the hell?
Just the fact that you could see that.
I know.
Yeah.
After homework, it was draw the next Iron Maiden cover.
I think there's little.
This big.
Aren't there little people at the bottom too? You're
crazy.
Yeah, there's all kinds of people, and I
like-
see like wyverns and fire, and all. There's a whole party going on
Bird
down there.
things.
Yeah,
That was supposed to be the artwork for the song Purgatory, evidently.
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
It's close. It's that Beelzebub
I mean, you can't really
face
see.
that he kind of
You
uses.
can't see.
Yeah, there's the album.
The half.
Joe's got a better image.
Oh, true. Yeah.
There's a little like it's not gonna help. And plus who's watching this? But yeah, it's got little like demons with wings, like I guess they're throwing people into the fire down there.
Yeah.
Don't reveal how small our YouTube audience is, please.
It's pretty small.
It's a pretty awesome cover.
I said don't. I said
There's well, I didn't say the number. And, yeah, there's a bunch of I guess they kind of a lot of them are if you look at these people closely down here, it looks like the like slippery when wet, and it's got the guy falling. It's kind of those shapes. I think he just couldn't draw that small, where he was like, "Fuck it, nobody's gonna see this part of the album."
Well, if you look closely,
It's
the
very
devil,
detailed on the top, and then it's kind of like I gotta hurry up and finish this fucking
well,
thing.
the devil was supposed to have wings too with lightning, so you can kind of see the outline of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that
Yeah.
I think Derek Riggs said that he didn't quite finish because the devil was supposed to have 2 wings with lightning on each side. So,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying before too. I think this album cover, part of that shock value, right? Which is why
Oh,
this
yeah,
is one of the
absolutely.
first albums that was between this and actually Somewhere in Time. Somewhere in Time, Eddie. That artwork,
Oh,
both of these
yeah.
two, I think, were the shock value. That was like, I got to listen to this. What's this? This is awesome, right?
And that's Somewhere in Time is not only my favorite album, but my favorite album cover probably. of all
Cover
time.
so good.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
How
that's my
long did you
favorite
look
Eddie.
at that?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I can still look at that. Yeah.
I should have taken these guitars down because I had both those back there.
Yeah, I have.
Oh,
I'm looking right at my whole wall right here. Is I've got. I can try to do this. Let's see if it makes sense. But I've got Peace of Mind right there.
Oh, cool.
And then
Oh, that's
that's
awesome.
from the last tour. And then I've got this Somewhere in Time.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I've got that one too.
So
Nice.
the whole setup right in front of me. So that's what I look at every day while I work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Stranger in a Strange Land.
I love that art too.
That's awesome.
My next tattoo, I only have one tattoo, but my next tattoo is going to be an Iron Maiden tattoo, and I'm still debating what I want it to be. I have an idea, but I've thought about the Stranger in a Strange Land Eddie, Somewhere in Time Eddie. What I really want is Eddie like ripping through my leg.
I was
somehow.
gonna
Like,
say that. That's so weird because have you ever seen that? Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Bruce Lee, but there's one of those tattoos that looks like it's coming out of your
yes,
forearm.
that's exactly what I want. But have you seen the one where Eddie's like coming through a door?
Yes, I have that poster downstairs.
Yeah, so I kind of want that, but the door will be my leg, like the bones on my leg, and like shit.
Yeah.
So Eddie's like ripping
Cool.
through my skin.
That's
That's what I want, but I know it's going to be hundreds of dollars, so it's going to be a while. before
worth
I
it.
can- Yeah, it will be worth it.
Yeah.
But
But, let me ask you guys this, guys. Have any of you guys seen the movie Morons from Outer Space?
What is it
What?
called?
Morons from Outer Space.
No.
no,
It's a horrible British comedy, but this album's cover gets shown for one specific scene, and it was one of those times, like, let's face it, you're just sitting there watching this horrible movie, and then all of a sudden, like, they're pretty much, the aliens from outer space come to Earth, and one of them gets put into a mental asylum.
Yeah.
So they put headphones on him, and they're trying to kind of torture him. So they're like, pull out this album. And of course, I'm sitting there with my brother, like, yes! Oh, yeah.
I would love
you
when that
see-
would happen with random 80s movies.
Yes.
You'd see
Oh,
like
yeah.
someone's
Well-
poster on the wall in the background.
yeah.
And you saw. Well, everyone's seen Stranger Things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Dance music. Right?
Oh yeah,
and I
yeah,
saw
yeah.
that. I was like,
That tape.
That was amazing.
yeah,
That
I'm
image of
fucking-
him holding that tape went on the internet everywhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 And our Instagram page, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie Munson, right on.
Yeah.
And I would have guessed they named him in part because of Eddie,
I would think so. Yeah,
the character.
Probably.
That would just surprise me. That would just surprise me.
makes
I
sense.
just assumed. I'm biased.
I gotta
let's face
ask. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, that's the one thing. Like Iron Maiden of all of metal, let's face it, there are, even the best bands like Pantera, you can look at them and be like, oh, that whole white power thing that happened, so many of these bands have had a little bit of a fuck up here and there. Now, Iron Maiden, of course, with the kind of Bruce, deciding solo career or whatever, but these guys have been, a standard. And as much as they've changed and adapted a little bit, let's face it, Book of Souls is definitely not, Number of the Beast, or Stratego, is definitely not
Senjutsu,
Killers,
Yeah,
whatever the fuck.
Senjutsu.
But yeah, one way or another, they're still putting out tunes, and they've been a part of the goddamn genre for almost its entire existence.
Yeah. It's impressive. I mean, and collectively, I would say it's our favorite band. I mean, me and Tim's favorite band is Metallica, but between the four of us on the podcast, I would say collectively, it's our favorite band. I mean, hell, we named the fucking podcast after an album, so
Right.
makes sense.
I always forget about that.
Yeah, that was funny because around that Fear of the Dark time, I remember saying, yeah, Iron Maiden, because till that point, I think it was always Iron Maiden was my favorite band in the world. And then it got to the point in the 90s where it was like, they'll always be my favorite, but they're not my favorite currently, or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know who it was, but it was like, okay, it was almost like my favorite hiatus.
Yeah.
And they'll always be my favorite, but now something else is happening. Maybe I'll hate them forever from here, but yeah.
Yeah, it always shifts around, depending on where you are in life. But Maiden consistently stays in my top three for they've been in my top three forever.
Right. They've done
Metallica's
enough
been Maiden
to warrant that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Children of the Dam, this one?
What's that?
Yeah.
Children of the Dam, this one?
Yes, we didn't do that.
Anyone want to hate on Invaders anymore?
No.
No,
The middle section is. Can you play the middle section a little bit?
We hit on that one specific part that messed it up for us, but
Yeah.
You mean the chorus?
that's I mean,
Part's great.
it is. It could be fixed pretty much.
I'll go ahead. Oh, there it is. Good solo.
It's very Killers type of riff.
Yeah. Like I said,
If you're not counting, if you're not careful there, you can really fuck up.
I bet. Yeah.
It's just this it's subtly difficult, at least for me. There, if I get off a little bit, it's over.
I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
It's one of those 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many times is it? Okay, and then it goes. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but there's
So-
a number of identifiable fills and riffs that kind of anchor it the way you can fall right back into it. At least for me, I feel like I never, when I'm listening to you play that Deech or Clive for that matter, for me it feels very natural because there's every few, there's always something that's anchoring it there, even if it feels a little off time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Children of the Damned. I love this song. I wondered if Metallica pulled some inspiration from this song, listening to it this time, because it's like the slow intro and then the heavy chorus and then slow and then it gets heavy and kind of faster at the end, much like Fade to Black.
Sanitarium.
Fade to Black, yeah.
It's got
I'm
that.
sure they did. Yeah.
And it's 82 before Fade to Black was probably written. So.
Yeah.
But not as much of an epic vocal.
Well, no, definitely not. No. But yeah, this song is fantastic.
Just that alone. I mean, this intro.
So good.
Yep. Metallica also ripped that off, by the way. But I think it was Day That Never Comes.
The way he sings.
This was Bruce's first album, so this might be the first introduction to him. Really, how well he can sing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Emoting.
What his range is, you know.
Well, they knew who he was before they.
I know, but I'm from an audience perspective. Such a great chorus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just, you think like Paul wouldn't have been able to do this chorus.
No. There's a couple moments here. 219 was one I pulled. It's great. This whole thing.
Yeah.
A bass, Joe.
Yeah.
Galloping. And Fern, sorry.
Yeah. Clive's hands are for the rest of the song.
I was going to say, the 3-minute mark is where those 30-second notes come in. It's like ridiculous on the hi-hat.
16th.
And the 16th, sorry.
Like now. Same thing. But...
That was it? Okay. I guess he moves from the floor tom to the hi-hat.
It's still weird what he does. But...
Yeah. Crazy.
Like this.
Of course, the guitar harmonies, which they're masters of. So good.
Yeah.
Great solo. Again, finger tapping solo, kind of like one. But
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Fantastic.
I've never looked at it from that perspective.
Yeah, I hadn't either really.
Yeah, they owe a lot to that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
every fourth Metallica.
It's one of their biggest influences. It's not
fourth track on a Metallica album for forever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Does anyone remember what the movie that this song is?
Children of the Damned.
No.
Oh, what,
No,
the legal controversy?
Village of the Damned and Children of the Damned.
Village.
Yeah,
Yeah, is it Village of the Damned?
Which
the movie?
in turn, yeah. It's
Yeah.
based on the films Village of the Damned and Children of the Damned, which in turn were adapted from the novel The Midwich Cuckoos.
what?
Very British. Yes.
Yeah.
The
This is
Midwich
also
Cuckoos.
Dickinson said they were inspired by Black Sabbath's Children of the Sea.
Yes.
So, it's interesting.
For me, this album, like, growing up, all of a sudden, we get into metal, we start playing these albums, and of course we ask our parents, like, hey, could we listen to some of our music instead of your classical garbage or oldies, whatever. And I'm like, all right. And this album will come on, all right, man, and just throw whatever we could in, and this album would come on, and our parents would be like, what, huh? No, just like, oh no, Children of the Damned. I remember, friend up the street, the guy that had, No Prayer for the Dying. He said, oh yeah, it's about child abuse.
No,
it's not. You got to make those things up so that your parents are like, oh, okay.
My sister used to play she kind of introduced me to all music, but one of the songs I remember hearing was "Hell Is for Children."
No.
By Pat Benatar.
Yeah.
And it freaked me out because I'm thinking, oh, is that where I'm going to go? and she had to, explain that it had nothing to do with that. But...
Let's walk it back, Chris. Let's walk it back.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
It's motivation. You got to grow up. And you'll be okay.
I know, exactly.
Right.
I will never forget, though. There was one time where what I just said, we're like, hey, can we threw an album in, we just grabbed one out and threw it into the tape deck while, our friend's dad was, pulling into reverse to drive us out. And of course, it was this fucking album, only it was starting on side 2.
Oh.
Think about it. No, we're all like looking at each other like,
whoopsies.
Well,
yeah.
all right. Should we move on to Prisoner?
Oh, we must.
Yeah,
We
Jeez.
must.
So
I forgot to mention, the Fugitive was also based on this show from the
oh, that's right.
Fear of the
Yeah.
Dark.
Yeah,
Not as good.
throwaway
nearly as
song
good.
though.
Not quite as good.
No, not even close.
Oh, wait, I thought
No.
The Fugitive was about the
Harrison
fucking
Ford.
Harrison Ford movies. Yeah,
It's
No,
I've read it's based on this TV show.
Yeah.
still based on the okay.
So there's another mirror, between these two albums. There's a lot of weird things going on here with this.
Do you know the story about the beginning of this? The whole using the bit from the movie.
Oh, didn't Ron Smallwood call him?
television show?
Yeah, they asked for their permission.
Yeah, and then they were like,
He's
"It's
like,
for
who?
some
What
rock
band?
band."
Who? Iron Maiden? Oh, do it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Tell the story. Like I don't know what you're talking about. So
Oh well, they needed permission from Roger McGuinn, or whatever the guy's name was that starred in the movie The Prisoner. Wasn't the
TV
movie
show.
called The Prisoner?
There's a TV show, I think, right?
Yeah,
the television
shows?
show. Yeah.
So they needed permission to use that whole beginning because it's from
Yeah,
the show.
The show. They needed. Yeah.
Yeah. So they called Rod Smallwood, called the office. They had no idea who the hell this person was, or they just sounded very confused. And they just said, like, what was the name of the band again? They said Iron Maiden. Oh, okay, do it. And that was it.
Nice.
Yeah.
They say it on the 12, I think it was the 12 Wasted Years video.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had no idea when I first heard this song. Like, what the fuck are they talking about? Why? Who was number one? Who, like, what number?
Yeah.
You were the new number 2.
You are number 6.
No, who's number 6? Why is everyone a number? What is going on right now? Like, I was so confused.
I'm not a
for some reason.
number. I'm a free man.
It's like, okay, cool, man.
Clearly, they were at the DMV.
Yeah.
Apparently, Back in the Village is also based on this TV show,
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
according to the Wikipedia.
Here's your drum beat.
Oh, that's so good.
So simple but effective.
How did Portnoy mess this up?
Listen to those. I mean, that's not easy to do.
No, it's not.
Nice and
hard.
even.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, that's hard to do. Did he just not do it?
I think he cut the whole. He kind of truncated the whole thing, and he played one of those variations, and then he just played it wrong anyway. I'm like,
Okay. Yeah, he was winging it.
you'll see. Yeah, just look it up on YouTube. He just did it like a week ago or something.
Okay, I do want to watch that.
I'll get to the chorus in this one. Such a great chorus. God. Vocal harmonies, all that. It's so good. The bass. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh man.
They don't really play this that much. They didn't really play this a lot, right? I'm surprised. This is a very anthemic chorus.
I think Made in England or something. They did.
Made in England.
Yeah.
Made in England.
Which this is definitely not a staple of their sets.
No.
So I think Bruce is doing the harmony on the album, but I think Adrian does it live.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And I don't know that he does the high harmony either. So that's kind of where I.
Oh, right. Fern does the high harmony. When we
And
did
I
it.
struggled because not because I can't hit the note, but because I do it falsetto and it sounds kind of pretty. And I want to be careful not to be clashing against Naveed and what Naveed and Deech are doing. So I'm always like, you know, only because this song is so special to me and to a lot of people. And when I approach it, I just don't want to I always tell Deej, I'm like, just trying to be careful not to clash too much when I go in, because I can hit the notes, but certain notes I can hit falsetto, certain notes I can hit full blast. But when I'm falsetto, it's very like, you know.
Yeah. The other thing about, before I forget, what, Fern?
No, I was going to say, it ain't Bruce.
I think Daniel said that to us once when we were talking about the harmonies, and Dan just said, he's like, well, y'all ain't Bruce. Like, well, we know that. We're doing our best. If you listen to just a drum nerdery thing, if you listen closely, I thought it was a delay thing. But I listened to an isolated track that someone made, and I asked the person who made it about it. If you listen to the snare drum, there's like a 16th note delay in there or something, or he's doing them as ghost notes.
So I think ghost notes?
It's more like, but it's so consistent, and he does it in Invaders, and he does it in Prisoner. So if you listen, there's always like another little quiet beat in there. I thought maybe it was a delay or reverb or something on the snare, because it was like so consistent.
Are you talking about at like 410?
All throughout the whole thing.
Okay, if you go to 410 in the Prisoner, Eric, just play that. There's a weird percussion thing happening, and I don't know.
Well, I was going to talk about that part too, because I didn't. So I think it's the same thing you're talking about. It's where, and I didn't know this was what was.
I know what you're going to say
until I saw Chris do it live. Where
he's hitting the floor tom.
Okay,
going back and forth. I'm like, what the fuck?
Boom,
it's so
boom,
weird.
Boom, boom, boom.
That's weird. Who would do that?
It's crazy.
It's a very Motown thing to do at like a lot of slower tempo.
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
You still hear the...
Again, I had no idea that's what he was doing until I saw you play it live. I think it was the first show that I ever saw you guys, the one at Fat Tuesdays. And I think you played it at that show, and I was watching you going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's what he's doing there? That is so wild. Yeah, it is crazy. I'll play it again.
So creative.
It is, yeah.
Fucking Clive, man.
So that he's doing that snare thing right there, right?
Almost throughout the whole song.
Yeah, now that's all I can fucking hear.
I really think it's ghost notes.
Yeah. He's letting it bounce a little bit after.
Yeah.
I say that.
Yeah, it's almost like a
Yeah, so, and I say that because unless someone is writing the delay on the aux send to cut it, otherwise you'd also hear it on the bigger fills too.
True, right? True.
Yeah.
Right.
I really think it's just Clive. He's got those like extra things.
It's crazy.
He has a lot of spice in his playing.
And if you add what he's doing with the bass drum a lot, because he's going now it's except that second snare drum is softer. So it's almost a constant 16s. And to do that evenly through a whole fucking song in the studio, it's like just another testament to how badass that guy was.
Yeah.
And I love his ride cymbal sound, because it always just pops out and sounds so badass.
Yeah. 22 Acacia Avenue.
Yes.
This is my favorite of the four Charlotte the Harlot.
I was going to say that. Yeah, exactly.
Now that I know there are four, this is definitely the best one.
Hands down, the best one of them.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Number 22.
And like, I say that, but it's still not one of my favorites on this album.
Is this
the lyrics are like,
yeah, I thought this was an Adrian Smith collaboration.
Yeah.
This is the first album where Adrian Smith actually has writing credits, I think.
Is it really?
That's what it said on Wiki.
This is the first album he was on.
Second album he's on.
Yeah, he was on Killers.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, duh. Yeah.
Yeah, they would only change band members one person at a time.
Yeah.
I feel like this album really gets, or this song really gets going around like the 130-ish, I think. That's what it is. After the second chorus. Oh, this part, yeah. Here we go. I love Bruce's screams on this part.
That's got to be the Adrian Smith part, right?
That's so good. And the end of the song is the way it ends is great too.
There's a lot of different parts that really work well together when it slows down to the guitar solo, halftime feel.
This here,
this is awesome.
So great.
Bass.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Listen to the guitar solo outro. Listen. That.
Yeah.
That right there. Do you recognize that?
No.
It is also that almost identical riff is played in one of the solos of Hallowed Be Thy Name.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, can you play it again then?
That
it's near one of the end solos of Hallowed Be Thy Name. It's an interesting little tidbit.
Nice.
Well, I guess we'll get to it anyway. So
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Asterisk there. Let's remember.
Anything else on this song?
I love playing this song personally. Maybe it's because there's a lot of different parts, but I don't know. It's just so fun to play. But I say that to every Clive song anyway. But
I feel like it's kind of forgotten about. Maybe
probably because all the other songs of this album are so fucking good.
And have they ever played this since Beast on the Road?
Yeah.
I haven't. I don't know if they've ever played it since. Great song. I don't know.
Yeah.
All those different feels.
Yeah, the guitar riff in the middle always gets me.
Very energetic.
One way or another, I was just saying, I mean, it's such a great problem to have for, your guys' band as well as these guys. Like, how many great songs that they fucking have that you just, you don't have to play all of them all the time, but, you pull out a 22 Acacia Avenue, say on their, I mean, what are they touring with?
Somewhere in Time and
Somewhere in
Senjutsu
Time
was the next one.
Yeah.
It's
but one way or another, if they were to play that, god damn it, I've never seen them play it.
I'd go fucking crazy if they played that.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, that's like, last time I saw them, they played a whole bunch of the fucking shit that I had never even listened to, the fucking Blaze shit. And it was awesome. I mean, really, let's face it, anytime they play anything,
different,
they can play the entirety of Fear of the Dark, and I'd be like, fuck yeah.
Well,
it's automatically going to be better now if you any of the Blaze songs.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Yeah.
We should probably mention that supposedly Bruce, and you guys probably would know better than me, watched all these documentaries, but Bruce wasn't allowed to get writing credits on this album.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I think I read that in the book too. Run to the Hills, but
how many of the lyrics did he write?
No, like he should have gotten songwriting credits on the album, but due to
there's
contractual issues with
three songs,
Samson.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 3 songs specifically.
Which ones are they?
Children of the Damned, The Prisoner, and Run to the Hills. He all has writing credit. He should have writing credits on, but he couldn't because of contractual obligations to Samson.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
Fuck
that's
That's right.
Need to talk to Samson.
That's right.
Contractual obligations to Leatherface, whatever his name was.
Yeah, that's right.
Thunderstick.
What was the drummer's name?
Thunderstick.
Thunderstick. That's right.
God.
Leatherface, Thunderstick.
Leatherface. Yeah, close enough. All right, so Number of the Beast. The title
This is a
track.
big clunker.
Did they do this? Did they ever play this one live?
I think so.
Maybe a few times.
Left
Yeah, the
by
next
them.
two actually are. I think Run.
I mean,
do
Run of the
remember
Hills is the most overplayed Iron Maiden song.
Yeah, and I do remember seeing the video for Run of the Hills when I was a wee lad.
On Spotify, Number of the Beast, Run to the Hills, and Hallowed Be Thy Name are in the 9 digits.
Yeah.
Run of the
Jesus
Hills. Run of the
Christ.
Hills has more.
Run to the Hills has 294,000. No,
Million.
294,586,591
It's a little ridiculous. Yeah.
plays.
It's a great
Guess which
song,
one has the
but-
least plays, Gangland?
Yeah.
By a lot. By a
You
lot.
better million.
You need to start listening to it.
Just have it running
Catch
Yeah,
up.
no.
continuously.
Shuffle Gangland for the rest of the week.
I got it up to 7,500,000.
Hope that helps them.
I blame the parents.
Yeah.
So Number of the Beast. Yeah, we'll play a little. Never heard this song before. What does it sound like? Yeah. This was supposed to be Vincent Price.
Yeah.
It is Vincent Price.
No.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Vincent
No.
Price.
He was busy doing Thriller.
That's right.
Same year.
He got paid more. For
Imagine
Actually,
though imagine though you're 13 years old and you sit down and you throw this thing in and your friend's parent just pulls in reverse. That starts playing.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Kind of that phase a little bit.
Yeah.
What did I see? Can I believe that what I saw that night was real and not just fantasy? Just what I saw.
The reflection of my warped mind, not woman. Warped
I
mind.
know. I know.
I was just thinking about last time I saw these guys play. The Eyes of the Nile, not me. I was like, man, I don't fucking know 70% of the lyrics. I don't think. I'm so bad about knowing what he said because it was during How Would Be Thy Name, I think. And it's like, I'm like,
I know.
no, I don't fucking know what he says there.
I should know these lyrics better.
I
yeah.
should too.
I used to know all of these lyrics, like the back of, like I could freaking recite them. Like, you want to hear 22 Acacia Avenue? I just, all of it. I know. My brain. I know it's probably because of this shit, but yeah, my fucking memory is dead.
Yeah, so we've heard that song, but no, I mean, obviously, it's a great
Yeah.
song.
I think everyone should watch the making of this album. It's probably on YouTube.
I think I made a mental note to do that like 5 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, it's not as
I
it's
never
not
did
as
that.
like I think the best part is the whole thing with Bruce and the scream, but it's not as like detailed as some of them are, like the Steely Dan Asia one. But it's definitely worth the watch.
We probably should have done that before recording this episode.
Yeah. Well,
Well, when we do Steely Dan,
Eric.
we can watch that.
What else can we say about the song, though? I mean,
it's got
There's
a tricky drum beat.
everyone
I
thought
was
yeah.
just thinking that same thing.
Yeah.
It's 4/4, but he does an offbeat on the fourth measure. Or whatever,
Yeah,
the fourth.
That opening riff is that coming out of the slow part in Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, just kind of sped up.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not playing the octave. He's playing a different octave, but it's that same.
2, 3, and 4.
Very, very similar. Yep.
Yeah.
D major. D major.
Iron Maiden played something similar to something else. They wrote.
I mean, it's a mind blower. It's just.
Joe, I don't know if you remember this, Joe. We tried to cover this song in Mr. Fister, and Mike Rolfs could not get the drums down.
Yeah.
He just couldn't figure it out. We were like, it's just one
That's
one.
so weird.
It's not that
The
hard.
end of 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. F. 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. F.
I will say it does coming in, like going to that going back to the opening riff at the end. That is,
Yes.
Yeah, that's tricky.
weird.
That's
Yes,
really
it is weird.
We never could get that right. We're like, okay, well, fuck
It,
this.
it was not a good idea to do that one.
No, it wasn't. Who's gonna sing this song anyway?
Yeah. That was not our wheelhouse.
So I take it you did Run to the Hills anyway.
Nah, we didn't do it. I don't think we did any Maiden.
Not in that band. No.
Right here.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah.
And then it's even weirder going back into the opening riff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ending is the hardest part.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Creeping Death
Oh yeah.
intro. Like, I almost fucked that up when I tried to play it.
He has
The other weird thing about this song is, how do you count it? How'd they do this in the studio?
Right.
This.
Yeah, that.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
You just kind of have to know it, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I actually did count that at one point. I think it's either like 10 or 11 or something like that. But it actually is an even count if you count it. There is one there.
It's just weird because there's no hi-hat. They left it out completely, so it sounds like it's almost random because there's so much of space there.
You know how you do it?
You come in magically.
You look at the drummer.
Together.
Is what you do.
That's right.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have played this live maybe in the studio.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Well, you know what? That hit, ba-da-da-da-bum, right? It's kind of on an upbeat in the count, and that's part of what makes it confusing.
Yeah.
It depends on how you think of it, though.
5, 6, 7, ba-da-da-da-da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, ba-da-da-da. If you put 7, if you count 7 between the last hit and that next hit, that'll get you right there. So whatever that is, I think it's like 10 or 11 or something dumb like that.
It's also just a band having feel and being tight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
that too.
just what you get from being in a band for 10 years or whatever, just that type.
But they had to have been.
They hadn't been in
the same room.
No, not 10 years.
Doing that together, because I don't know how they would have hit those otherwise.
Yeah,
if they recorded it separately.
I didn't realize how much Creeping Death sounds like that until just now.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Yeah. Da 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 da.
It's true.
I mean, it's something to be said for the style, and they always credit a lot of their early work to New Wave of British heavy metal. Which,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? So,
didn't notice that until 13 seconds ago.
Well, isn't the end of Fight Fire with Fire kind of an Iron Maiden rip too?
Oh yeah.
Kind of the way.
Oh, right.
Damn. Yeah.
End of Where Eagles Dare. I think they've done it at the end of Hallowed Be Thy Name.
Yeah.
I feel like something from the first two albums as well.
Yeah.
They do it a lot.
Not Drifter.
Yeah. That's almost like deliberate, like an ode to Iron Maiden. It's so obvious.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like Jesus Christ, guys.
What about the I mean, this is where Eddie usually has come out in the guitar solo.
No, of course.
Is this for the guitarist? Is this an amazing solo? Is it just wanking or?
They're all wanking.
I don't think until Yannick came along they did wanking.
Yannick, you can tell when it's a Yannick solo because it's sloppy as fuck. It's
right.
He's like the Carrie,
bar.
He's like the Carrie King of Iron Maiden.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Like,
in this one though, it's
play as many notes as I can all at once and then hit my whammy and do No, in this one, it's an iconic solo. The way it comes in is
because you can play this one of it like sticks in your head, kind of like a slash guitar solo or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always liked Andrew Smith's solos a little better than Dave Murray, just because I think he has a little bit more feel,
more composed.
I always liked Stranger in Strange Land was my favorite solo.
Oh yeah, me too. That Wasted Years.
Oh. So,
but who made the better faces when they played solos?
Well, Dave Murray, of course.
Yeah.
Looks like he's whistling the whole time.
That's right.
He's kind of got that look like I can't believe I can play this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I did it,
and he has a little celebratory kick.
Yeah, he's very happy to play solos.
Well, meanwhile, Yannick's doing that the entire time. He's doing.
I swear to God, they turned him down for having it.
Yeah.
There's no way he's making the proper notes. He's doing like the.
He's like swinging
Playing
his
it like-
guitar half the time. There's no way that if that was turned up, it'd be
yeah,
that's all you hear.
Got to. He's
All right, let's not waste our time talking about Yannick during this
please, let's
album.
not.
Right.
No, nothing to do with this album. Well, Run to the Hills.
Such
obviously.
great pirouettes.
I wonder how Clive came up with this drum intro. Does anyone know?
I have not. heard
Wait,
that
do you
story.
have the answer?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
I know
that's-
I know how Gangland came about, but not Run to the Hills.
Oh.
It felt like you were setting us like a teacher.
No, I really
I don't know.
no, I don't know.
Being a guy that actually plays these drum parts,
I
mean,
feel
it's-
like a loser. I need
Yeah.
to
It was,
research.
guys,
Like
why do we
the-
invite him? I mean, give me a break. You can't just drop the
Yeah, I know
ball.
Gangland.
And what is this
I
guy
don't-
like the commanders of like metal
Oh.
drummers?
Come on now.
Oh, F minus.
Might have just been the riff.
Shots fired.
Play the
Well,
intro.
It's very it fits the song perfectly, right? It's
Yeah.
Native American sounding.
Is
You know.
it? Is
Yeah.
it? I never thought of it like that.
So, I think Eric knows more about Native Americans than anyone else.
It's like a.
I think Anthrax ripped this off.
What?
Indians.
I'm thinking about it now.
Yeah, concept maybe, but not the riff.
No, not the riff.
No,
not the
not,
riff,
it's not like
no.
no. For I don't mean I should have said ripped it off. But
Yeah.
I feel like
The concept,
yeah.
yeah. Well, Injun Joe Belladonna, right?
That's right.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
I don't get tired of this song. Much as
so, I mean, exactly. It's
I
such
just
a good
fucking,
one.
I love that guitar part.
Yeah.
Yeah, still good. Harmonies are so good.
Yeah.
Oh, you should play the Rio version, Eric. Like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
This is one of those
Like-
few songs that I really like to listen to, but I don't enjoy playing it as much, which is interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I like listening to it. It's a joy. But
Yeah.
speaking of Anthrax
This-
and Iron Maiden for a split second, this is way off topic, but in terms of like songs that sound similar, check out Persistence of Time, the title track, and then go back and listen to Alexander the Great. And then see if you can spot any
Alright.
similarities in there. In the I think it's 7/4 time or something like that. Go back and check that out for fun. But anyway,
Nice.
Run to the Hill.
Time? You talking about time?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can already picture it. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
7, 8. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just think it's
hope they
like
play that.
part of, there's so many things that make a great song, but you start off with a drum beat.
Yeah.
The guitars come in, it perfectly complements the drum beat. Guitar harmonies, the vocals come in, the lyrics match exactly like what's happening. It's all just like perfectly constructed song.
Yeah.
And then it changes the tempo. And then you got your gallop thing.
Mhm.
And
This is a
and
very-
now you're off to the races.
Yeah.
But it all works. It's just like a homogeneous piece of work, piece of art.
It's a very strum or finger picking side of your body that's getting a workout on this song. It's not
Oh,
very
it's
intricate
constant.
riff. It's just
I'm
right hand constantly or for left hand for one of your guitar players. But
and this is constant 16th notes throughout literally the whole song.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. And he whips those. It's not really like, if you're getting really technical about it, it's not like da 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 da. He almost whips it like he waits longer. He goes da 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 da. It's not da 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 da. It's da
So
da 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 da.
If I
Yeah.
play a live version with Nico playing it, is it going to sound different?
Oh,
well, that's just the guitars are doing that too with
goofs.
the riff, right?
he makes everything sound goofy. Like even in that song, in that whole part, like
we're about to hear it. I was hoping we'd listen to the crowd though.
Not the same. I'm listening to the drums.
It's not the same. Honestly, if I was Nico and I had to play that every goddamn night, I would probably start doing something else because it's really difficult to the stamina. And I'm always like, I gotta keep the stick heights down because you get excited and your stick heights are up here, but you have to keep them low. Just to play that song clean. And then singing on top of that. And you got the microphone stand. You're trying to hit the china. But yeah, Fern also sings on that. Yeah, it's a workout for sure.
Yeah.
And then the whole three vocal harmonies, right?
Yeah. I didn't even realize what they were till Fern started singing, and we actually worked out what to do. I don't even know what we did before Fern joined the band, honestly. But I think
thank you. I
think we actually do what they do.
Well, did your old bass player do harmonies too, or no? Vocal harmonies?
No.
Okay. Then it was probably
Jason sang a little bit, but I think he just sang like a lower, octave lower than what Naveed was doing or something.
Okay.
It's interesting with the harmonies because a lot of the times Maiden doesn't do all the same harmonies they do in the studio. Right. And sometimes they'll do a harmony, but it'll be a lower one that maybe Adrian will sing. I really like the idea of if we have the vocalists and we have the ability, get the live feel, but with some of the studio harmonies. I feel like that adds something a little bit, that adds something a little special to it, where it sounds good, It sounds good.
And that's since day one. I was all about that. And Naveed was never really into that at all. And that's one of those things where I just I don't understand you. I don't understand what is wrong with you. Like what I would say that to anybody. I just it so clashes with my thoughts,
sensibilities.
It's just if you can do it, the fact that no one else does it, Maiden doesn't even do it. Why should we not do it? Because Maiden doesn't do it. It adds so much more where I could only imagine that people would say nothing but holy shit, they're doing the harmonies too.
Yeah.
This sounds like the song. It's not just Adrian going, run to the hills, or nothing at all going on. It's we can sing everything in The Prisoner. We can sing everything in Run to the Hills. We tried to do in Flash of the Blade. It's why not? It's it only I think it only makes things better.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer, and this is for any band. If you can, you must, because otherwise someone's going to do it. May as well be you. Give it a try, right? So
yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? And Flash of the Blade, that's a good one too, because you got those really high harmonies.
Jason and Fern we just started doing it a little bit differently, where Jason and Fern just kind of belt that out, the high ones.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. Well, anything else on this song, Run to the Hills?
Well, another classic, I think, just in terms of the vocals, his build up at the end of the, you get the guitar solo and the build up. It's so iconic.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then the end, the scream at the very end of the song.
That bass part is so well known that when you see Maiden live, they actually show Harris. It's part of the song.
I love that part of the solo. So weird. Yeah. I'll play the scream at the end here too. I was just thinking about this. That's your. A lot of people that was their introduction to Maiden. I think that was ours, really, wasn't it? I mean, we heard Live After Death, but like I remember seeing that video.
I was just gonna say,
yeah,
it was a goofy video too.
It was to be like
with old, all the
like
spandex.
I think it was deliberately.
Well, they had this weird fake movie clips.
All the metal bands were doing the spandex,
like sped up cowboy and
like
right.
That part was
that was very confusing to me.
Yes.
Well, what I was gonna say is listening to that build up part with the bass. Like, how many metal bands were doing like really high bass?
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
I mean that's
right.
Yeah.
It wasn't around. I mean, Thin Lizzy was doing stuff like that, but
I don't think
like that. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think anybody's
even think about Motorhead.
A bass player like
as
him.
much as Lemmy was just in charge. I mean, let's face it, Lemmy was Lemmy, but he wasn't doing that.
No. He's playing guitar on bass, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's just an interesting tidbit. Like, you don't think about that. In '82, like, you're not hearing metal bands like this.
No one else. So. No one else was doing that.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about the Run to the Hills video is, of all things that stood out to me, was Adrian Smith's Ibanez Destroyer. I don't know why. It's whoa, that's so cool.
You know what's still amazing to me is the fact that we were into them when this album came out, but imagine people who heard this for the first time and had heard Iron Maiden and Killers and were like, it's good, but it's not as good as the first two albums. What the
that happened.
People still say that.
Yeah,
I know people still say that.
Like, what?
There's people. People are just, they like to be contrarians about things. Like,
I mean, it's
Kill 'Em All's the best
songwriting.
Kill 'Em All's the best Metallica album. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's.
Wow, I didn't know people had said that.
Oh yeah.
As much as I love the first two albums, I don't think there's any comparison whatsoever. I mean, it's just like it just went from here to
yeah. It's I just don't get
Some of
it.
the songs on the first album are incredible, but the production is garbage. Nothing on the second album is incredible, but the production is good. And
well, that's not true. The song "Killers" is great. Wrathchild is great.
Hey. I'm just trying to make a point here. Like,
there's a lot of good songs on Killers.
This album, there are great songs on Killers. There are good songs on Iron Maiden.
I like Killers better.
Let's face it. And I think what Chris is saying is there are people out there that are like, oh man, the first two are the greatest. Nothing else compares to them. Fuck you, you goddamn jackass. Think of that. This, some people say, Somewhere in Time. I'm surprised Fern says Seventh Son, but
for me,
the best Maiden albums. I mean, holy crap! I mean.
And I think there's a lot that goes to that. Again, I think it's a matter of for the listener, because you have your group mentality. Obviously, we had your bunch of friends and the community at the time, the metal community, the smokers club, whatever you belong to, what they were listening to. And that had a play in what maybe become your favorite album. And sometimes it's a very personal thing to the individual. And that just happens to be for me. Like, I was one of the only ones of my friends at the time that loved Seventh Son as much as I did. They all liked it, but they didn't like, for me, that was like, the Pedestal album, where everybody else is more Number of the Beast and Killers and the older stuff, specifically to Maiden. So I think it's person specific, but yeah, I can see that. I can see where that might be.
Yeah, for me, Somewhere in Time was my first, and it was just like, holy shit. So every other album I put out, like I listened to, the first two included, was all in comparison to how I felt about that album. Now, as Eric mentioned earlier, every single time you have that first time you're introduced, and it's just like a goddamn fucking love song. I mean,
I didn't like Somewhere in Time.
Oh, you fucking!
I didn't like it at first.
It was.
I only like Wasted Years, and that was it.
It was Power Slave for me. It's the same way. That's how I feel about Power Slave.
I didn't like the song. I thought it was just over my head. I didn't get it at the time. I mean, I love it now.
Obviously, because you're not.
I didn't get it. It was like from Power Slave to that, I didn't understand what the hell was going on.
We expect this kind of shit from drummers. So
no, expect it out of a 15-year-old. I was like, at that point, I was like, I wanted another Piece of Mind or Power Slave, and I'm like, the fuck is this guitar synth? Or I didn't know it was a guitar synth. I was like, what's the keyboard doing in metal?
Right.
What's it doing in Iron Maiden? What are they singing about? What is this production? What is he? These drum fills don't make any sense. It was just all over my head. It was just one of those things. Like, I didn't understand it.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually had some friends to that point. So kind of like what I was saying before in terms of Seventh Son, some of those same friends were saying, yeah, they're starting to use keyboards now, almost as if to say it's, I don't know if it was like a selling out thing or something fake about it.
It was taboo back then.
Or yeah, because at the time there was there was a mentality that like there's something now artificial. It's not just guitar. There's something going away into a very fake direction. I'm like, I don't see that, but okay.
No.
But that Wasted Years video was epic for me. I mean, them in the studio, all the Eddie faces.
I love
I would watch that over and over and slow down so I could see every Eddie face. Pause it. Oh my God, I've never seen that one before. I've never seen that one before.
Well, that's
I can barely remember any of their videos. Their videos do not stick at all.
Wasted Years was awesome, though.
This one was probably the best one. Them in the studio. And Flight of Icarus, they're in the studio too.
Yeah, that's true.
I love the Aces High and 2 Minutes videos. Those were awesome.
I remember 2 Minutes of Midnight. Yeah.
It was like fake studio live performance things.
But with some of the World War II kind of map drawing things going on too, that was really cool. Yeah.
Okay, Gangland. We talked about this a little bit, but this is
no, let's face it. It's not as though this song is just like absolute garbage. It's just on this album, it doesn't compare to the rest. It just
that's the problem. Yeah.
I could see that.
I mean, that's what I think the biggest reason why everyone's just like, oh my God, it sucks. It's because, face it, on this side, we got Number of the Beast, Run of the Hills, and fucking Hollow Be Thy Name. I mean, it's like three of the best Iron Maiden songs are like, sandwiching it. And it's like, sorry, Gangland. And yes, I'll flat out say, Total Eclipse is a better song.
I don't agree, honestly.
Well, I mean,
I like the song, but I actually I prefer.
I like it more, but it's not as though it's like it would have changed.
It's not an
my
awesome
opinion
song.
of this album. Exactly. No. Like if it was there instead of Gangland, we'd still be having the same conversation about like,
probably
that Total Eclipse song. God, why did they put that one there?
And they played that live instead.
Yeah,
on that tour.
And what's funny, it's on some of the CD track listings too. Like this isn't an original. This is one of the later ones that they did with like the enhanced CD.
Yeah, it's on the.
Well, they just re-released
40th. Yeah, it's on this one right here. The one.
Yeah,
it's on there in place of Gangland. So
it says on the it's on the Japanese.
Mine has both. Mine has both.
Well, this just came out last year. It was a 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
It's
on Spotify. You can just listen to the single.
Yeah.
What? They didn't put Gangland on there at all?
So. Let me hold on 1 second.
They probably should have, don't you think?
I know.
Let's see.
I think they just added it.
The Japanese version had both songs on it back in 82 on the vinyl.
This CD that I have is a 1998 re-release when they did a whole bunch of them with the enhanced CDs, and if you have all the spines together, it kind of you can see the Iron Maiden album cover.
Oh yeah.
Shit, this thing is getting expensive.
Yeah, no. So
I always get in trouble when I end up buying albums when we do this.
That's side two.
I just spent $150 on.
It's not even on there.
Nope.
That's weird.
Like they're making this ridiculous statement.
Weird.
That's
our song sucks. So
what a bunch of assholes.
It's not that bad of a song.
It's not.
I think that was a Steve Harris thing. He's like, Steve Harris said it should have been on the album, so I'm putting it on the album.
Well, don't take the other one off.
I know, seriously.
It's
fine with me. I don't know.
Can you play
that long?
Can you play some of it so you can hear Bruce's awesome vocals?
Yeah, of course.
He has a great scream in the middle of this one too.
I see.
Can you play that bridge or the pre-chorus or whatever the hell it's called? The next section.
Let me see.
Yeah, this. Vocals are incredible here.
Yeah, I mean this one it's kind of like the
if this were on
the
Fear of the Dark, if this were on Fear of the Dark, we'd be like,
Wow.
fuck man, that Gangland, man, yeah. I'm so glad they threw that one on there.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone cares, Clive took that intro from a Cozy Powell. I don't know what song exactly, but it has something to do with Cozy Powell and his drumming.
Yeah, I think this was an interesting one for us in the practice room because of how the intro was counted. And I was watching Tim. I don't know if you were watching me, Tim, kind of saying, "I see the drummer counting." I'm like,
yes,
no. This is that was a conversation in the room.
Well, even when we thought we agreed, okay, if you want to count like that, fine. If I'm going to count like that, fine. As long as we all fucking come in together and play it right. And then we still had issues. Just like where the guitar would come in with that like do. So up till like the first gig or the second time we played it, because the whole idea was like I guess I think it was my idea. It was like, let's just learn the goddamn song. It's only 4 minutes long. Then we can do all of Number of the Beast. And I have this thing about doing complete albums. Like it's a nice product to promote, complete album. We're doing all of Number of the Beast. No one does that. No one's going to play Gangland. So, but we're gonna, because we can. So why not?
You got to throw Total Eclipse in there next time, though.
That wouldn't offend me at all.
I just bought the LP, the Japanese version.
Jeez.
From 1982. It wasn't that much. It was only $52 after shipping.
Wow. Good
That's
for you.
Not bad for the 82 version.
Score.
Yeah.
The score.
Wow, that's pretty good.
With the extra, with all the tracks.
Wow.
Nice.
The score for sure.
Do we want to play a little bit of Total Eclipse?
Sure.
Yeah.
This riff is tiring. Lazy.
It's Fear of the Darky. I shouldn't say it like that. Fear of the Dark.
Sounds like Revelations.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
but boring. Well, they left the hi-hat in. Some triplet thingy.
That sounds like rap.
Yeah, it's very.
Hey, maybe this song isn't better.
Here comes Stephen Piercy. Oh wait.
Yeah. You just got lucky.
The bass stays. What is that? I'm guessing.
I like that.
That's a very Danzig thing to me.
Yeah, it is.
I think there's a name for that, but I can't remember when you do that.
It's a heavy riff.
Yeah, I like that riff. Yeah, that's cool. It's peace of mind sounding kind of.
Yeah, I mean it's fine.
Yeah,
nothing great.
Let's see who wrote that one.
And you've seen them play that on the Beast on the Road. This footage of them doing that.
Oh,
if I recall correctly, I think there's also footage of them doing that on. I think it's like the History of the Iron Maiden early years DVD. I think. So I feel like
it's
I
on.
remember seeing.
It's on the 12 Wasted Years because they show a lot of.
I have that, so I'm
road.
sure I've seen it. I just don't remember.
Yeah,
that's a Harris Murray Burr collaboration.
Oh, that's right. Burr had writing credits on this album, and that was one of them.
And Gangland too.
And Gangland, yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Which maybe it was just the drum beat. I don't know. I guess you get credit for that, right?
That's interesting. I wish I
should.
I would love to know exactly if
It doesn't
it's
seem
like,
fair
okay,
if you don't, right? You shouldn't have to pick up a guitar to get a credit, right?
That's one thing that pisses me off. Like my friend Mike was always, adamant about this. The fact that drummers, a guitar player writes a riff and then a drummer comes up with a beat for it. Now, that beat they fucking wrote. They came up with that. There's no way in fucking hell the goddamn guitar player is just like, hey, you know what? Maybe fuck around with the ride cymbal there. No. Every goddamn song, the drummer wrote their own part. So the drummers should fucking goddamn get credit for writing every fucking song.
Well, not if it's like Matt Soren on GNR.
No.
Yeah, true. All right. Not him. But
yeah, but if you go by that logic, you could say like a bass player has writing credit for every song they put a bass line to.
right?
No, I'm sorry, but they're normally going to be following whatever the drummer wrote. I mean, let's face it. Whoever wrote the song came up with riffs. And the bass player might come up with a fill, but that's not the riff.
I don't want to get into the weeds with like songwriting.
Right. Well, real quick, Clive didn't get a writing credit for Run to the Hills though, and he starts that one as well.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe Steve said, "Can you play this beat?"
Yeah.
And he sat down and played it really poorly, and then Clive went up there and said, "Yeah, I can do that. Watch me, motherfucker."
Yeah, probably because it's a concept that he was following in his mind.
Yeah, like the way Bruce said to Nico to play, however he said to play Where Eagles Dare.
Yeah.
So even though he played it, it's a drum intro. You don't get any credit, drummer.
Yeah.
I think
that they get a raw end of the deal a lot.
They get a thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
Except for Charlie
Thanks,
Renante, but
Well,
he actually
he writes-
legitimately writes all of their music.
He writes the riffs. That's
He writes
why.
riffs,
Well, Lars too. I mean,
Yeah,
how many
Lars
drum
is-
intros and things that are constructed around the drum beats
Arrangement.
and
He does-
Justice.
Well, Lars does
Arrange-
most of the
yeah.
arrangements too on
Arrangements.
the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He takes all the riffs and says this should go here. And
Yeah.
anyway, let's get to Hallowed because it's might be my favorite Maiden song ever.
Yeah,
One
this
of
might be
the
their
best.
best song. Yeah.
It
It's
could
up
be their
there.
best.
Pound for pound,
But
their
it's
best.
definitely one of their
It's-
best.
I don't know if I could narrow it down to one, but this would be one.
It's
of
in the
them.
conversation.
Yeah.
It's
Top 5 for
definitely-
sure, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Top
Yeah.
2.
I did sidebar, but I did a listener domination on Sirius XM once, and this was I got to pick 3 metal songs, and this was
I think
one
I
of the
heard
3
that.
picks. Yes, you did. I remember. It was this, Master of Puppets, and This Love. Were the 3 I picked. So.
Can't go wrong with those.
This song, I'm so used to hearing it live that it's so
I know.
slow.
I know.
It is. Oh, it's
It
so
is.
slow.
And we both went back to, we heard Live After Death first, so we were used to that
Yes.
tempo. And we heard this, we're like, what? What's happening?
Same with Revelation. Was like, Revelation was like that for me too.
Yeah.
I only heard the live version first.
Yeah.
My 2 favorite Maiden song.
There you go. Is this long? Hold out low.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul wasn't going to be able to do that.
No.
Well, he might actually. This party could probably.
I mean, he did sing "Remember Tomorrow"
Yeah.
with actual singing.
That riff. God.
Yeah.
And when it comes back at the end, oh my god, it's so good.
Papa Roach liked that riff a lot.
I have a comment about that.
They stole it. Pat just. Thank you.
Read me the last sights. Take a look to the bars of the last sights of a world that has gone very wrong for me. Can it be that the sun
That's also the same run that they do in Ram of the Ancient Mariner again.
is it really the end, not some crazy dream?
It's like a D, E, G, F sharp.
Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, yeah.
All right. Well, I can't. I mean, that's 2 minutes of the song.
But this song kind of set the standard for them doing these epic songs all the way up to Mother Russia at the end of their albums.
True.
I think did they pretty much do that for the next.
Well, Only the Good Die, unless you count Only the Good Die.
Yeah, Only the Good Die Young was.
Oh, that's
not.
true. That is
Yeah.
that doesn't.
I never
really-
compared these with any of those. I mean, it's an epic song, but I don't think
They
of
all-
it in
they
the
all
same
have- they're all like
sentence as
7 minute-
rhyme.
Well,
Yeah.
they're all super long. Track
Yeah.
album enders after this.
I just want to know if he's using a real chime or what they're using in the studio for that. That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Oh, in 82, they have to be. Yeah.
You would think.
But
So.
what I was going to say, Deech, you remember when we were learning, I think it was this, and the guitarists were saying something like, yeah, when we get to that Papa Roach part, I'm like, wait a minute. There's something basically wrong about being in a Maiden tribute calling something a Papa Roach part.
Well, it happens in Genghis Khan or Transylvania, whichever one.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about? Like, I'm sure I'm going to recognize it.
But... What's their biggest hit, Papa Roach?
Yeah, I don't know Papa Roach.
Oh, well, so Papa Roaches, they had.
I get them confused with
it. Into pieces. This is my last resort.
And they stole it.
Oh,
they literally just
stole it.
I've never gotten to that part of the song. I turned it off.
It happens in Transylvania too.
Do you want to hear it? I really don't want to taint our episode.
No.
We don't do that, right?
We're talking about one of the most important metal albums of all time.
Let's not.
You both are fired.
I might just bleep Papa Roach out every time somebody says it. Like that's the curse word of this episode. Not only this.
I don't know. I think they're cool. But like that's got it. Message received. Message received.
All right, and now I've removed Fern from the episode.
Muted.
Exactly.
Gong.
All right. Well,
but so the solo part. Remember what I was saying before, at the end of 22, the riff that they played.
Oh yeah.
And in the guitar solos in this, there's like an identical riff that they used.
Listen to that.
I wish I knew the minute. It's when it picks up.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, I heard it.
Yeah, it was just an interesting little thing when I first noticed it. I was like, they totally recycled the exact same riff. That's really interesting.
Don't listen to the last two Metallica albums because
I know.
Was he just like
recycling a lot of
like I'm gonna use this again.
Yeah, he's gotten lazy.
He has gotten pretty lazy, unfortunately. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to go into the weeds with Metallica stuff because we could talk about that all day. But yeah, that whole part.
Invite me to that podcast.
All right.
Yeah, look. Anytime you want to talk about Metallica, Tim and I will. Well, and Joe. I mean,
we're Papa Roach.
You see my influence, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jason's
Newstead. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean this. I don't know what else to say about the song. It's one of their best songs ever. It's the biggest, the first. Well, I wouldn't say the first big epic song. Like,
should we talk about
like
to end
the album? I'm talking about like they had there's a couple on Killers that are pretty long, I guess, and then Phantom of the Opera. Sure, but that's not an album closer. Like this kind of was a thing that they went with until all the way, I guess, through Mother Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, fucking Book of Souls.
Well, I guess Fear of the Dark is 7 minutes as well, isn't it?
God damn, it's like a 20-minute long song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a fairly long one too, right? That's the one I play on Touch Tunes when I hear too much like fucking country. Like, well, fuck it, you guys are gonna suffer. 20 minutes of Maiden.
You're gonna hear Bruce Dickinson playing piano for the next 20 minutes. Enjoy.
It's the third most streamed on Spotify. Run to the Hills, Number of the Beast, then Hallowed.
Wow.
Well, Keith, were you going to bring up the whole lawsuit thing or whatever?
Yeah, the whole lawsuit thing. I've never really kind of dove into that too much. I know the basis of it is like,
was it this song? I thought it was Children of the Dead.
Oh, no.
There was a whole thing where, was it lyrically someone was saying that it's a ripoff and they were trying to sue them?
Musically and lyrically.
Well, we talked about it. There was some other band that said that they basically ripped them off with this song.
Yes.
So it
was Papa Roach.
No, it wasn't.
It was some band back from the mid '80s that
which was in the future.
That Steve was actually had a connection to. That's the big.
That's
thing.
right. Yeah,
there was a connection that Steve had with these guys.
Yeah.
So it's just
how did I miss this?
Yeah, they couldn't play the song live for when we.
Right.
I think it was it may have been the Book of Souls tour where they couldn't play it at all.
Really?
Yeah, they couldn't play the song live because there was a potential lawsuit that was happening.
I remember the Stairway to Heaven thing. I don't remember the Hallowed Be Thy Name thing.
Yeah, it was a thing. Yeah.
Okay, there's a band. There's an English band called Beckett, and they wrote a song called "Life's Shadow" in 1973.
Can you play any of it somehow?
I'm sure you could probably go on YouTube and find
I mean,
this.
it'd be quicker if
Eric, could you find
Hold on, I'm looking at
Life's Shadow by Beckett, and we can
Beckett.
I bet it's not as bad as that. What's Stairway to Heaven?
Yeah, that was
ripped that off.
The whole intro lick, I think.
Yeah.
Some band from the.
That's one
the band they toured with right before.
That is a flat out ripoff. I mean, God damn it, it's a great fucking song, and he.
Okay, this is Life's Shadow by Beckett. Let's see if this plays, or if my computer's going to be. Oh yeah, I can totally see that.
Oh.
Well, like Remember Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Smooth jazz.
Yeah.
Waiting in my coats.
To see my eyes are closed at last as they pay their last respects to a man they are.
I mean, I can hear some Maiden, but I don't know if it's Hallowed Be Thy Name that I'm hearing.
Well, so here's the thing. It's not like it's some completely unique, and this is no slight on Beckett, no slight on Maiden. It's not like it's some completely unique groove that only those two songs are so similar to each other. It's got to be a lawsuit. That's a very, forgive the term, kind of generic groove. And if it resolves to the 6 going from E to C, also not an uncommon thing, right? And the fact that singing in the notes of what is it? Singing, having a B vocal.
They're in the same key.
Minor line. Yeah, it's. I get it, but it's a little.
That song actually was reminding me of a Sabbath song, and I can't.
I could hear that too. Yeah,
I could hear that.
But is that the part of the song that suppously they ripped off, or is it more?
Fast forward a little bit and see if there's more to it.
How long is their song?
6:28.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
keep going.
Hey, was he about to say like that was just a strange illusion?
Oh, I don't know.
I was just gonna say, get to the part where they go.
Yeah.
Oh
well.
Wow, they use 2 of the same words.
If I knew what he was singing in the Iron Maiden song.
Okay.
Oh, that violin part.
Okay, listen to
that violin part. They totally fucking ripped off the violin.
If you listen to the clean guitar part, though, it's actually going bum 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 bum.
I did. I was noticing that too. Actually, I was noticing that too.
Oh.
So it's a slower version of the main riff, basically.
Yeah, the plot thickens.
Yeah. Well, that's why they couldn't play the song for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't know if they settled or what. I don't know what happened.
It was settled out of court.
They settled, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, like let's face it, the Beckett band probably could use a few, whatever.
It was 100,000.
I'm pretty sure Steve and everyone else just
Is it?
Yeah, fine. Here's whatever.
It's 100,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So they got.
Yeah.
This is completely random, but just a quick Clive thing because I was I came across a drum solo that he did in the Number of the Beast tour, and of course in the sidebar with all the other videos that came up, it was him playing with a band called Praying Mantis in like '95.
Well, Praying Mantis was Paul's band. Paul, when Paul left when Paul got fired out of Iron Maiden, he formed Praying Mantis.
Wow. Well, this was in 95 and there was no Paul. I don't know who and the song is really lame, but Clive is back there killing it. And just while we're on the subject, there's also, that he formed or joined a band with Dee Snider called Desperado.
No,
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
It never came to fruition.
When did that happen?
That was like the early mid 90s. And so after the Desperado project, I forget who the guitarist was, but it ended up becoming Widowmaker, which produced 2 amazing albums. Clive didn't play on them, but he was in the first version, which was called Desperado. And if you go on YouTube, you can watch them rehearse.
No, really?
Yeah. And it's like an hour long.
Oh my God.
And they're just sitting around and they're chatting. And it's just like an aerial view. It's kind of hard to hear everything that they're saying, but you can watch them rehearse. Clive's playing, and then they're just hanging out and they're like drinking coffee and just chatting.
Huh.
Wow. It's crazy. Yeah. If you want to go down the rabbit hole, but it's weird to see that stuff. You can talk about the production of this album just real quick. I feel like this is one of the best, like, at least for me, one of my all-time favorite productions. It's like you can hear everything without it being like how a lot of modern metal productions, you hear everything but everything, and I'm going to blame Metallica sometimes, but everything's just so fucking loud and distorted, and it's like all in your face. This was just clean. It was pleasant to listen to. You can hear every note. Everything is mixed so well. Every song sounds exactly the same with the production. Yeah. This has a homogeneous sound from beginning to end. I just think everything about it from a production standpoint is definitely up there with the best for me. And this was like 82.
Yeah. That's the
and nothing was fighting. None of the audio, everything had a place to live really nicely. Mm-hmm. It wasn't fighting the loudness war.
I mean, the biggest thing for me, like on the bass side, it's just like he's doing stuff that no one else really is doing in 82 on bass, except for maybe on the prog side of things. But one way or another, like you can hear distinctly just all the shit he's doing in comparison to what the guitarists are doing. I mean, having that clarity is just,
And you know what's funny?
With other bands. You don't get that with other bands.
The funny thing is, like, in the next 2 albums, the production kind of, Peace of Mind especially, is all these kind of muddy, Power Slave got cleaned up. And then over time, the production, I don't know if Nico said, I need to hear the bass drum. I could never hear it before. And now everything is just fucking loud and they have everything up, like all the drums. The drums never sounded good. I hate Nico's sound, honestly. But on most of the albums, the toms all sound really like pillows. But everything is all in your face. Like this was 82 and it was like the cleanest, best mixed album to me, maybe out of every single Maiden album.
Yeah, it definitely sounds better than Peace of Mind. I love Peace of Mind, but production wise, it's one of their
that's the whole thing. Like this is my favorite Iron Maiden album, right? Like, right? This one's my favorite, right?
Are you asking us?
It's that's the whole thing. It's not a matter of asking. It's just a matter of like this is my favorite.
It could be. It's up there. I mean, you just can't decide.
Exactly. I mean, let's face it. It's fucking Iron Maiden. So you've got enough to choose from. But god damn it! Like when I listen to this album,
it's so classic.
How it closes. Exactly. There is so many of the best work, and I mean, especially Bruce being his introduction into it and fucking nailing it. Get rid of the old guy who I loved. I mean, I love how gravelly and fucking, low key fucking Paul was. Pull in Bruce, and all of a sudden he just fucking brings an element vocally where he legitimately, let's face it.
It works with the songwriting that's so different.
In metal are as talented as he is. How many,
How many can still do it to this day? Like we saw them last year, and he still sounded amazing. It's ridiculous.
And same keys.
Better.
Yeah. No, not tuning down.
He's gotten better in recent years.
Yeah. He sound like if you go back and listen.
That, that whole throat cancer,
like
maybe fuck things up a little bit.
Live After Death, he's missing some notes on Live After Death.
Oh yeah, big time.
Ace is high right at the gate.
It's like, why would you want to open? Well, they have to open up, I guess.
Well, I think he learned. He's, let's face it. As years have gone on, he's learned what he should be doing in order. Well,
you read his book, and he talks very specifically about learning how to use that instrument because it is an instrument,
right?
And how you have to take care of your voice and take.
I'm guessing their lifestyles have changed considerably since 1985.
A little bit,
a lot,
And that's after cancer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's the crazy thing. Listen to Book of Souls where he had cancer and he sounds freaking amazing. It's wild.
Yeah.
I think. I know he still sounds great, and he didn't really ever sound bad, but I don't think his voice ever truly sounded better than this album. Like he's still young. You can. He's rated in properly. He's probably doing things that were bad for his voice back then.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing the shit.
He still had a clear clarity to his voice that even on the next album wasn't there as much.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I can't decide in terms of vocals which one is better because the first three with him, there's just so many moments where he's just like a fucking legend.
So that's kind of.
I'm not trying to shit on anything else that he did later. I'm just saying, like, there's something about how he sounds here. Maybe it's just an energy he brought because it's in this new band.
And listen to the live stuff from this tour. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's almost like there was an element of something to prove in a way.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me. I read about how he and Steve both kind of were the ego guys on stage, and it was Steve didn't really have to compete with Paul for stage presence, but then now he was like, it's like, fuck, we got these two egomaniacs. In that in a good way, respectful way. Like you want people to be.
But I believe it turned a little. I'm pretty sure Bruce and Steve were like, "Fuck you, motherfucker." This is my.
But it's good. It's a little bit of like John and Paul. Like you want a little bit of
friendly competition.
Yeah. So, anyway,
who's this John and Paul you speak of?
Guys, yeah. You've heard of the Beatles?
Let's not go
Bible?
back down the.
We're getting into
we already talked about them.
Yeah. The Beatles came up twice on an Iron Maiden podcast. What has happened?
Sorry,
Chris is
that's
here,
what you get for having me on.
Not that surprising, All right, we've already kind of given away our grades. At least Chris did. Grades for this one.
I mean,
I'm
gonna go. Well, here, let Chris and Fern. You guys go first. Chris, you already.
Said motherfuckers.
I'm still gonna go A+. There's no reason to. There's nothing. Even if Gangland is. It doesn't
not
matter.
As good as the other songs.
It's not as good, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't tarnish anything for me. The whole album, everything about it, A+. It's hard to beat.
So it's a special album. It's the only album where you've got Bruce and Clive, and Chris hit the nail on the head with the production and just the feel and the emotion of the song, the attitude that Bruce, and just the stark contrast. No slight on Paul. But the stark contrast between Killers and Number of the Beast and just
we're not talking about the Beatles anymore.
That's what I was thinking too.
Even with that, and with Gangland actually being one of my all-time favorite Maiden songs.
Wow.
Which one?
Gangland.
Gangland is one of your favorite Iron Maiden songs.
It just is. I mean, and I have a lot of songs that
it's the quote of the podcast
your favorite,
right there.
Time out. His favorite Maiden album is Seventh Son. So obviously he's flawed somewhere in his brain.
In more ways than many.
He's a mysterious man.
But with that said, and again, speaking within the context of all of the albums, I give it an A because I have 4 others that I would rank A+, and I feel like it would just be throwing them away. And again, I think that it's got a special place in my heart, and all the points that we touched on before. But an A, but I'm proud of it, and I love the album dearly. It's really special anytime we get to play something off that on stage as well. It translates.
Yeah, I agree with you for the exact same reasons. I give it an A. only because there are a couple moments that I'm like, Invaders being the key, the chorus of Invaders is like, why would you open an album with that? But a regardless, it's an A for me.
Let me continue on that aspect, because both of you are saying in comparison, and you're comparing it to the rest of Iron Maiden's collection. And Iron Maiden, let's face it.
Should we compare it to the year?
They are, we compare it to fucking, I mean, so many other bands out there, do not consistently produce what Iron Maiden does.
Sure.
And, to say A instead of A plus, it's I'm sorry, Iron Maiden deserves the A plus across the board because of how consistent they are. They are just fucking phenomenal.
We're not grading the band. We're grading this album.
Yeah. But I think both of you are grading it in comparison to the rest of their output.
Yeah, but it's hard not to.
Which
we don't really have a matrix.
If no. fuck you all. If you're going to compare this, you should compare it to the rest of the entire genre. This is a goddamn A plus, as well as most of their albums are A pluses. So
I can agree with that context. Yes.
Yeah.
Except for Fear of the Dark.
Except for Fear of the Dark.
And No Prayer for the Dying.
No Prayer. Right.
I was thinking, like, what else could be an A plus? But because, like, even Peace of Mind has some.
Oh, Peace of Mind second side is garbage.
I like them all.
I would say
Quest for Fire. I don't know. I like them all. I'd play them all.
Quest for Fire is garbage.
I like Quest for Fire. I do too. I like them all. I wouldn't say they're A pluses as albums.
Yeah, I would say to me, Power Slave and Somewhere in Time are A pluses.
Somewhere in Time is for sure A plus for me.
That's an A plus. Yeah.
All right. So who else?
They can only have 3 A pluses per band.
So I have to remove one because I have 4.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I'm gonna just go with A, just for basically what you guys said. Like, and I'm not using Keith's grading matrix.
It's the Invaders chorus that brings it down.
Eat my dick.
I guess just because like they have 4 other albums I know I like
more completely
a little better. So that's all. If this had been Judas Priest, maybe it was an A plus. I don't know. That would have been fucking weird, right? But
like an A plus 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 plus.
Yeah. So I mean, and it's stupid that we have this argument, right? About it's fucking subjective as hell.
Yeah, it's
exactly. Say what you want to fucking say, and you're fucking wrong.
We all collectively agree it's one of the greatest metal albums of all time.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that we're in a tribute band has to say something.
We played the whole album live.
Chris, you just said it's one of the best albums ever. How is that not an A plus across the board for all fucking 6 of us?
Because you're not allowed that some others
because we have to think about other Iron Maiden albums.
You got to save some of those A pluses for
the rest of metal. We should think that like Dangerous Toys exist.
No,
goddamn, enough's enough. No. Okay, like
Trickster.
You're gonna start going down this
Trickster.
You're gonna start going down this rabbit hole of like. Now we have to start thinking about pop music and Michael.
Those albums exist. So in comparison. This is a motherfucking A plus.
As far as I'm concerned, they don't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no such thing as Trickster.
Did you rate yours, Tim?
No, I give it an A for the same reason that Fern and Joe and Eric said, that there's room to grow a little bit, and there's a couple songs that are a little bit lower.
There are 2 songs.
It's like half of a plus. It's not A plus, but it's almost there, but not quite. I mean,
it's like 98.7 or something.
It's really close, but.
Gangland chorus, Gangland Invaders chorus. That's what's killing everyone.
Which are my favorites. So that's just so like.
Yeah, I don't get it. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't hurt me at all. Those moments.
Also, I mean, there's a lot of nostalgia. There's places. Where did you come into the band? There's all these factors that play into it. Somewhere in Time is my favorite because that was the first album I bought new. Yeah. And it's just there's so much nostalgia there. So if this had been the first, I don't know. Right. Maybe, it's too hard to. This is really difficult. So
that's a good point. Even though we've said it a million times, because again, for me, it was like, all right, I had all these other albums. So Somewhere in Time was I don't know when that came into play when I bought that, but it was probably the 6th album or something.
Yeah.
So now I'm comparing it to, Peace of Mind and Power Slave, especially.
Yeah,
and it wasn't that at all.
No.
And it hurt my feelings.
Yeah, because when back then when you had to go physically buy the album and you were a teenager and you couldn't really get to the record store.
Yeah.
And you didn't know what they had.
Could walk to it.
Well, but you didn't necessarily know what they were going to have, right? So
well, we knew when it came out. That was the exciting
I'm talking
thing.
about if you found a band and you're trying to go back to get their catalog, you fill up their your
you walked in to buy a Prong album and they didn't have any Prong.
So say Iron Maiden's got 8 albums out when you get into them, or 6 albums out. Whatever the first one is, that's when you're going to hear the most when you're formulating your opinion of the band, especially if you love them. You're going to play that tape over and over, that album, the CD or whatever. So that gets burned into your psyche more than the other albums.
Right.
And like this was kind of the last of the original, the old albums that I got, when I was finishing my collection. So
yeah, that's part.
I think that's part of it too. Like, I didn't play it as much.
Yeah, well, also going back from Live After Death and hearing those versions of the songs, and being used to those versions of the songs, and then going, oh, let's hear the studio version. It was like for me, and I think for us, those were the the real.
When I had I had the VHS too. That was burned into my brain, like watching it over and over.
Yeah, and then to go backwards and hear the studio version, you're like, this is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Right. This isn't the same as what I'm used to. I mean, now you're like, well, I know what's going on now, but like back then, you're like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. So it's just there's a lot of stuff going on that, Also, what should have been the opener?
Right.
I think number of the
Gangland.
Number of the Beast.
Number of the Beast. The title track.
That would have been. Yeah, that actually would have been. That would have worked.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
I'll die on too. Invaders. Invaders is an opening song for
Invaders is an opener and Gangland is badass. Let's do it, baby.
This is why we do this podcast, so we can have all these different opinions.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've been chatting for 3 hours, so we should probably end this thing.
It's Iron Maiden. That's what happens.
I know.
Hey,
but I want to give you guys an opportunity. I know I can't have Chris promote his stuff because he's playing like 8,000 shows in the next month. But just kidding.
He's got like 3 books he's putting out.
Anything coming up in the next couple weeks for you guys that you want to promote? Feel free. Any shows
for the Maiden band or
or any band?
Anyone, anything.
I have to look at my calendar.
Well, let's say that's June 17th.
June 17th at Craft House Stage and Grill in Pittsburgh.
Yep. So
we should definitely mention the July show, July 14th at
Bastille Day.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's Bastille Day with Maiden music and Quiet Riot.
Where's that?
It's called the Rock the Mountains Festival. It's in its 3rd year. It's out in Cumberland, Maryland.
Oh, wow.
It's an outdoor festival, and the people that run it are all musicians. They do a really good job. And so they have 2 stages that are right across from each other, and they just alternate bands. And then on the first night, so it's a Friday and Saturday. We're on the Friday, the 14th.
Oh.
And we play right before Quiet Riot. So
the real Quiet Riot?
Well, yeah.
Or
with Rudy Sarzo as the only.
Obviously, the vocalist is dead.
Well, I meant the band, like not a tribute.
Not a tribute.
No, it's the actual, if you want to call it that, the actual Quiet Riot.
Okay.
And Rudy Sarzo.
Their drummer died too, right?
Yes. And that's it right now.
Cool.
In terms of Maiden.
Fern, you got anything?
Yeah, I mean, I play in a band called Klepto Radio. We've got just a number of gigs coming up. We've got, I'm kind of the sub guy for right now because we're looking for someone that can actually play the keyboards.
Oh,
ham-fisted bassist, right? But we've got a number of gigs coming up. One of which is, I think, this coming week. I can't remember where because I don't have the calendar in front of me. So I fail there. And I also jam with a band called Legal in the District, and I have a couple of gigs coming up there. So once I get to look at the calendar,
is that
Legal in the District is with Greg and Tommy, right?
Greg and Tom, right, and Mandy,
yeah,
and Chris Dye on the drums, and
Joe
Mandy
and
D
I
on guitar also.
Yeah, Joe and I were in a band with Tommy, so we know Tommy well.
Yeah, he's the professor, just aptly named. What a brilliant and beautiful person. Yeah.
Yeah, he's I don't know who came up with this, but Human Jukebox is what I heard him call, and I think that is completely accurate. It's ridiculous.
It's awesome.
And of course, Greg. Obviously, Chris knows Greg, and he's been on the podcasts a couple times, I think. So yeah. So he's great. So okay, last question for you guys. Favorite Maiden song?
Well, wait. Time out. I'm at least promoting my own shit because my old band, who we haven't played.
Oh yeah.
We haven't played live since 2011, I think, is playing a show April 10th.
Oh yeah, I got it on my calendar. Cool.
Yes, at the Auto Bar up in Baltimore.
Nice.
It's a Monday. Yeah, it's a Monday, which is old. My old band was well known for playing weekday shows in Baltimore, even though we all live in Virginia. But so one way or another, yeah. If you're interested in seeing the old school thrash punk, my old band is called the Overprivileged, and we're playing the Auto Bar on April 10th.
So. Is this original members as well?
It's all three. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way in hell we're gonna do a show without Dan, Scott, and I. It's the three of us. Yeah.
Very good. It's in Baltimore on a Monday, so it's going to be hard for me to come out.
It's a Monday, yeah. We're the first time in fucking 12 years we played, and we're doing a goddamn Monday.
That's a 2-hour drive from me.
I did the short-haired Metallica gig on a weeknight at Auto Bar.
Oh wow,
it's not fun. After doing like 3 funerals at Arlington Cemetery, I drove straight to Auto Bar with the SUV full of drums and did a 90s Metallica show.
I think I was invited to do that, but I was like,
that's right.
Baltimore on a Wednesday or something. Yeah, it was with Justin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
I was like, I don't think I can pull that off. I would love to do it, but that's a tough ask. Yeah.
It was tough.
Yeah. All right. So my last question again. Favorite Maiden song to play live, if you can pick.
Oh, to play live.
Yeah, to play live.
I don't know that I could play any of Steve Harris's songs live.
I have our playlist here. I'd have to look. Where's our playlist?
That is really difficult to answer because there's so many special parts to so many different songs, and so many different things that are brought forth from certain songs. And the first example that comes to mind is Seventh Son, right?
Yeah.
That's such a special moment for us because it's big, it's epic, it moves well. Same thing with Weimer the Ancient Mariner. And I think Seventh Son was kind of a bit of a hurdle for us, and we were really proud to get over it. But then, Stranger in a Strange Land and Deja Vu.
Yes.
So crossing that sort of Rubicon was a real special thing, and that makes it a lot of fun to play live. That's a really hard question to answer for me. Yeah. I can tell you songs I don't like to play live.
Okay.
I want to hear that. Yeah.
Every bass player that is listening is likely going to write me off because Phantom of the Opera is not a song I ever care to play.
Why is that?
I just don't like it. You know what it is? Because it goes back to listening to a song and playing a song. To me, sometimes they're one and the same. If I can listen to a song and I enjoy playing it, if I enjoy listening to a song, I'm going to likely enjoy playing.
So you just don't like the song to begin with?
Say again?
You don't enjoy the song to begin with?
That's kind of the problem. I'm not crazy on the songs. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Riffs, but it just doesn't do anything for me.
It's got a cool
I try my best, and I don't let anybody in the crowd know that I'm not having a great time, but I do it.
Yeah.
Besides the boxes.
You should wear a Phantom of the Opera mask.
Yes. So you don't have to see me crying.
Yeah, there you go.
Huh.
You have anything, Chris?
I was looking through our
favorite moments, like anything that you can.
Oh my! Well, that makes it even more difficult.
Drum solo.
No.
Well,
Yes.
They have
I'm
me
so
start.
happy we added the drum solo.
oh, I know. I
Yeah, right.
saw last
It's
time.
awesome.
Oh my
Hey,
god.
this is inside baseball stuff, right? But did you guys do the slow part on Deja Vu, or do you go right into the?
No,
That's
we
what I
go
thought.
right
Okay.
into it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, there's things like I actually love the guitar harmony moments, like middle of the Flash of the Blade.
Oh, yeah.
Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, the guitar solo in Stranger in a Strange Land.
So good.
Because it's like, I mean, especially Stranger, it's that song is like, I don't want to say emotional, but like that guitar solo is emotional.
It is, yeah.
And it builds up.
Feel, yeah.
And it's got feel, and like, it doesn't matter what the drum part is, just you're playing time, but that's all you need to do. It doesn't have to be intricate or anything like that to be fun. And it's just like, that is so fun to play.
Yeah.
Those
moments where you get chills.
Yeah. But
Special
Killers,
place in my heart, lyrically and all.
but anything like, not anything with the Clive, but like the older stuff like Prowler and Killers, Murders, it's so intense. And yes, the playing is fast. There's no letting up. It's just you're driving from beginning to end, and there's no letting up. That has a certain kind of fun factor and intensity to it.
Well, there's a sense of pride there too, right? Like you guys got through that. And for me anyway, when I learned songs like that, where I'm like, I just nailed that, and it feels good to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that definitely happens too. Like the end of 2 Minutes to Midnight, sometimes live, I don't remember when he did it, but he'll do all eighth notes on the bass drum on the outro of 2 Minutes to Midnight. During that riff, he's going for the whole ending. And I try to do it, and sometimes I just kind of like fall on my face, but sometimes it just works, and my foot is on automatic pilot and it works, and I'll stand up after that like, fuck yeah, you know.
You gotta get up and do the Lars.
Yeah, right. Stick out your tongue.
Yeah.
Walk off. I wish I could walk off, but I'm hardwired, no pun intended. So I can't just like walk off the drums like it's, you know, in my living room.
Yeah.
There's so many things, wasted years from beginning to end. Again, that guitar solo, or even before, and this is
the fun one.
Such a weird thing, but even before the guitar solo actually happens,
that build up.
And it's still the guitar riff, like the intro.
Yeah, but you got
the bass changes, it goes up.
Yep.
That whole thing, I love that moment before the guitar solo.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so every song probably has like a really fun moment.
Yeah.
Really too hard to pick.
Yeah, Revelations.
I understand.
Going before the last breakdown. Oh,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm over there, and I'm an idiot because I'll yell at the crowd. I don't just mouth it like I'm like.
There's a lot of video of him
about any vocals I have to sing. I'm yelling with the crowd because I'm a fan. I'm not Maiden. I'm not Steve. I'm a fan living a Maiden.
You know what you're supposed to do there at that point of the song. It's not a matter of, oh, I'm sitting here. Oh, what is everyone else yelling?
Yeah, I get frustrated if I'm in the audience
because you're goddamn fan of the goddamn song.
Yeah, if people in the audience aren't screaming along to that part, I get frustrated. Like I'm looking around, going, "What are you guys doing? You're supposed to, you know this part. Come on, you've seen them live before."
Yeah, and if you hear the studio version, like one, you're like, "This is really slow," and then you're also like, when that part hits, you're like, it's in your brain, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
The crowd. Yeah.
Then there's a song like. Then there's songs that are strange because, at least for me, like songs like Heaven Can Wait, Deja Vu especially, I was like, okay, at this point I'm kind of like up for whatever. I shouldn't say that, but we don't have a lot of unanimous, definitely got to play this one hands down. But once, like, I wouldn't have loved Deja Vu if we didn't start, or as much as when we started playing it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't know. It just has this magic. Playing it, once we started playing it together was great, but once we started playing it live, and then, it's even better. So sometimes you don't even know.
Yeah. The drums in that song are really cool too. The little triplets that he does. Those really
yeah, he always adds those fast doubles, but then like the open hi-hats are kind of cool.
Yeah.
That is the one song from that album that I've always thought was like, meh.
Really? I like that song.
Yeah, same here, honestly. Now I feel so different about it because of us doing it. It's really strange.
All right, well, look, guys, thank you so much. It's been like almost 4 hours that we've been chatting about this. So this is going to be
unedited. Just keep it unedited and throw it up.
Yeah, I probably should. I mean, it's who cares? It's made and people are going to listen to it.
Yeah.
So
right, exactly.
But yeah, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you guys on. You guys are welcome anytime. You know that. So, and Fern, we're gonna hit you up on that offer for the Metallica stuff. So
yeah,
if you're up for talking Metallica, we always are. So we'll figure something out.
Awesome.
Well, maybe not all.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, it's the 20th anniversary of Saint Anger this year.
You need a Saint Anger snare button.
Oh, that would just be a trash can, wouldn't it?
Wait, it's the what anniversary?
20th anniversary.
20th.
Yeah, 2003.
Yes,
sir.
Shit.
2003. Buddy.
Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about it.
I'd love to.
All right. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Good seeing you.
Yeah,
thanks
man.
again.
You too.
Hopefully, we'll see you in June.
See you soon.
Sounds good. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Nice to meet you, Fern.
Yeah.
You as well. Cheers, brother.
Right.
See ya.
Energy, aggression, power. To sum it up, it's a vulgar display of power.
Sometimes I think you drink just a little too much blood.
I'm sorry, I'm going to PA. Bloodaholics Anonymous.
Cutting it up big time.
They are miserable slaves of Satan.
Some cunt's recording this.